e-commerce application. So let's say that you have an e-commerce application, e-store, and you're working on 4 servers, which is okay. You have a moderate demand on your application, and 4 servers is okay with you. Then on one day, for example, in the upcoming Adha day, you expect a high load, a high demand. Cloud providers should provide you the ability to scale up your application, to go up with the servers, and pay only for that amount in that specific day. So in that specific day, in Adha day, you want to scale your application from 4 to 8 servers. You do that. You pay for only this day, only this 24 hours, you pay for the extra 4 servers. Then when this special day is finished, you scale back to the 4 servers. So they should give you the ability to scale on demand in a very fast way. Right? This is the advantage here, because you can scale on demand in traditional data centers, or in your own data centers. But with the cloud providers, they should provide you the ability to scale on demand in a very, very quick manner. Other option is pay per usage. Going back to the example I gave, like I said, in the e-store application, if you use the additional 4 servers for one day, you will only pay for what you used. Okay? Another item is high availability, and this is very important. When you trust other people on your application, when you trust, for example, Microsoft to host your applications for you, you need a guarantee that your application will be highly available, almost all the time. So there should not be a single point of failure in your application. And if something catastrophic happens in one node, in one rack in the data center, or even in one data center as a whole, you need a guarantee that your application is highly available on other nodes or on other data centers. Okay? And finally, very important characteristic, which is geographically distributed data centers. Why is this important? For many reasons. One of the reasons is for some of the laws. For example, some government agencies, they do not allow data to cross boundaries away from their country. So there should be data center in their country. Another one important reason is network latency. Because if you have, for example, if you know your audience, your base audience is located in Saudi Arabia, for example, knowing that your data is hosted in the US, you know that the requests will cross more network boundaries, which means more network latency. So it's important to have the ability to host your applications on multiple geographical distributed data centers. And when we deploy together a Windows Azure service, we will see how you can configure this via Windows Azure. Okay? So let's start with the cloud options. Now that you know what are the basic characteristics of cloud that cloud providers should provide you, there are mainly 3 types of clouds. You can say that. The first type is the private cloud. The private cloud is something hosted on your enterprise, inside your enterprise premises. So you are an enterprise, you are an organization, and you have your own cloud structure. You have your own data center. You control everything inside this data center. You control the hardware resources, the network resources, the software resources. Everything is your responsibility. Second type is the public cloud. The public cloud is mainly the one that we will be focusing on in this session. This is the Windows Azure area, okay? The public cloud is where you share resources with other people. When you give your application to Microsoft, they don't give you a dedicated data center somewhere. They share resources between you and other applications. So this is the public cloud. Other type of cloud is the dedicated cloud. The dedicated cloud, you can think of it as a special type of public cloud, usually used for high secure organizations with some very, very special security and confidentiality requirements. For example, Microsoft has dedicated cloud for US governments. These US governments, the laws does not allow them to share their data with other parties on a shared public data center. So they have built dedicated cloud data centers for them. Okay? So these are the 3 types of cloud. When we discuss the cloud, now let's discuss the type of services. Because although we are talking about the cloud, private cloud, public cloud, dedicated cloud, however, the services, the types of services So when we talk about the cloud, the type of the clouds differs with the type of the services each type of the cloud provides. So for example, the first type of the cloud we see here is IaaS. If you have been following the buzzwords lately, you will see together three words: infrastructure as a service, which is this one, platform as a service, and software as a service. Now the infrastructure as a service is where you get basic hardware infrastructure, basic hardware and network infrastructure as a service. So you don't get a platform as a service. I will explain the difference. What you get is basic hardware services. Like for example, you have your own machine with your own operating system, and you have your application. You give it to someone else, and they give you the network and the infrastructure and the hardware. And this is not what we will be discussing in this session. What we will be discussing is the second item, which is the platform as a service. So Windows Azure is a platform as a service. Why is it called platform? Simply because it gives you, the developers, the ability to write applications into this platform. So, like I will show you on the next slide, it's not only about hardware. It gives you the operating system, the virtualization, the network infrastructure, even the runtime, even the database. Okay, you just have to code the application on top of this platform, and everything else is taken care of. Okay? Other type, which is very interesting, is the software as a service. To explain this the best way possible, the best example, the most fascinating example is Microsoft Rebus, if you have heard about it, Business Productivity Online Suite. So in this suite, you get, for example, SharePoint Online, you get Exchange Online, you get Office Communication Online. So in that case, you do not install anything on your premises. Okay, you don't need the hardware, you don't even need to code anything. You just outsource all of your service responsibilities to the cloud provider, for example, Microsoft. So they give you, instead of installing SharePoint, or even coding SharePoint, you just get it as a service. Same thing for Exchange Online. It's hosted at Microsoft premises. You use them as web services, okay, or as business services. So to better understand the difference between infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service, let's see this slide. Well, the leftmost column is the standalone service. What is meant by standalone service is the traditional hosting. Okay, you're doing your own hosting. In that case, you take care of everything. Everything is your responsibility. For example, the networking, storage, the servers, the VMs, the OS, the applications, the runtimes. You take care of everything. Now, in the second column here, the infrastructure as a service. As you can see, what you have to take care of is the applications. You have to call the application. You have to take care of the runtime. For example, the .NET framework, Java, PHP, whatever. What I mean, take care of the runtime, I mean installing the runtime, patching the runtime, upgrading the runtime. And then the database, you have to manage your own database. Okay, you need to have a DBA who is managing your database operations, your data database operations. And you have to manage the operating system. You have to install the operating system. Again, you have to patch the operating system. You have to upgrade the operating system. Now, what is taken care for you in the infrastructure as a service are the virtualization. Your application is deployed on virtual machines. That's done for you. And the servers, virtualization and servers come hand to hand. Right? Virtual machines are deployed on servers. The storage, you don't care about storage. It's not your responsibility to allocate storage, whether file system or other types, like you will see in Windows Azure. And finally, networking. That's also done for you. All the security networking stuff, all the load balancers, all done for you. So this is infrastructure as a service. Now, what we care about is this item, this column, which is the platform as a service. This is where Windows Azure falls. The platform as a service, you have only to code, your only responsibility is to code the application. As we will see, you create the application using the familiar development tools that you know, and then you deploy it into the cloud, to Microsoft data centers, and everything else is taken care for you, even the operating system, even the runtime, the database, the storage, everything. Final item is, actually that's the coolest item, right? That's the software as a service, because you got to do nothing. You just consume. Even you do not code the application. Okay? So these are the 4 types of cloud offerings. We will be focusing from now on the Windows Azure, on the platform as a service. So, it's time. What is Windows Azure? Well, simple analogy here. Let's discuss operating system on your machine, on your desktops. What is an operating system? For you as a developer, the operating system is a way to shield you from writing code against the machine language. Right? I mean, instead of writing assembly code and writing machine language and dealing with CPUs, memory allocations, input-output threads, all this stuff, the Windows is a layer there for you, where you do coding against the generic API of the Windows. That's Windows 7, that's Windows Server, that's the desktop OS operating system that you know. Well, in that sense, Windows Azure is the operating system in the cloud. Because again, you as a developer, you create your applications, you deploy it to the cloud, and you don't deal with the hardware by yourself. So when we compare desktop operating system, cloud operating system, in that sense, they do compare. However, as I will explain later, this is not 100% true. I will get to that point. Now, but Windows Azure, in addition to these operating system basic services, they provide you a lot of other services. Like for example, they provide you compute services, storage services. By compute, I mean they allow you to code against APIs to create applications. Like we will see web roles, worker roles. We'll get to know these terminologies very well. They give you storage. They give you massive amount of storage to store your data, different kind of data, like table structured data, binary data, queues, even SQL Azure, which we will not be discussing in this session, but there's even SQL Azure, okay, which is SQL Server on the cloud. And it also gives you, one of the Azure services also gives you middleware on the cloud. Because when you're creating on-premise application, traditional application, it's not only web applications and database, right? You need to integrate. So for that, you need to have a middleware. In Windows Azure, you also have a middleware in the cloud. We will also discuss that. However, like I said, do not think of Windows Azure as 100% operating system in the cloud. Why? There's a very simple yet meaningful reason for this, which is on the cloud, your code actually ends up running on Windows Server 2008 64-bit. Okay? At the end of the day, your code runs on Windows Server 2008. That's it. So now you might be wondering, okay, so if this is the case, Windows Azure is giving me all these services, compute, storage, middleware services. Fine, but why is it called Windows? Why is it not something like, I don't know, platform set? Why is the word Windows? Well, to understand that, let's dive in the deep architecture of Windows Azure. What are the core components of the Windows Azure, so that we can understand what are the services, what are the Windows-like services you're getting from Windows Azure. To do that, let's take a look at this slide. It's not an anchor, okay? First item here is the hardware. That's Microsoft data centers. So if you have seen any videos or any photos about Microsoft data centers, they are just massive scale-sized data centers, and that's the hardware. That's the racks, that's the servers, network, load balancers, everything related to hardware. One top above is the hypervisor. What is this hypervisor? Okay, it's easy to say that these days the trend of hosting applications is virtualization. It's no more hosting your applications on bare metal, on the machine itself. And why is that? There are good reasons for this. One of the reasons is the ease of change. So if you're hosting your application on a server, on the server itself, moving your code from one place to another is difficult, right? There's no easy way to just provision a server from somewhere and deploy your code inside it. It needs a lot of work. Even more difficult is the scaling. Like I said, when you want to scale, if you have some urgent need to scale, again you have to physically get a server, deploy your code on the server, link that server and load balancer, and do all the network stuff, and it's a hustle, right? And one very important reason is you cannot pay only for what you use. So going back to the e-storage